Welcome to Sergeant Sue on the mic, Airman's Journey in the Air National Guard. I'm your host, Sergeant Sue.
Come see us, get inspired, aim high, fly, fight, win, get to know the Air National Guard. Write your story, earn that key. Come see us, get inspired, aim high, fly.
For about, I can't remember the timeline. I just know I got there in October. I was back home in December.
Okay, so several weeks?
And I was back in school in January.
In January.
Yeah, he was like, he was adamant about it. He was like, you promised me you would go back home and go right back to school and then graduate, because I was this close to graduating. Like, I only had like a semester or two to go.
Oh,
so
wow.
he was like, that made no sense for you to, go back and get your degree. So I did. I walked, got my degree, a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice.
Awesome.
Graduated, and then when I graduated, I ended up meeting my husband, and we started a family, and just started blossoming from there. And the military was kind of like in the back of my mind at that point. And then it did start coming back up, and I'm like I said earlier, I don't want to live a life of regrets. I'm like, man,
no regrets. Not even
how
one
can I
letter.
make this work for me in the season that I am in right now, which is me being a married woman and having a 1-year-old. And I stumbled across the Air National Guard. And this time, everything was perfectly in alignment. Like, it all just worked out. Like, everything from the paperwork, like meeting the recruiter, paperwork, everything was just flawless. I went in, training was amazing. My first FSC was NDI, so I went down to Pensacola.
What's NDI stand for?
Non-destructive inspections. So I did that training. My family came down. It was cool, and I did that in South Carolina. So.
And what kind of tasks do you do as an NDI?
NDI, non-destructive inspection. So basically, you are inspecting aircraft in ways that are non-destructive. So using liquid penetrant, we could use ultrasound, we could use x-ray, just different measures to do, how to put it?
Like quality checks?
Yep. Of the aircraft. And
make sure there's no
we
like
bring
cracks
those
and
parts.
stuff?
Sometimes they would bring them to our lab, and then sometimes we would have to go out on the flight line. So I enjoyed that job. I did it for a few years, but then I just wanted to move on and do something different. Another reason I love being in the Air National Guard or the military. Well, yeah, the Air National Guard, because when I was at that point where I'm like, I want to try something different, it was embraced, and it was like, okay. And actually, I was told, you make a great personnelist, and they were supportive. My leadership at the time was very supportive in that transition.
Cool.
So my next AFSC after that was 3FO.
3FO, which was?
Personnelist.
Personnelist. Cool. And I like this story because you went in, it didn't work out, you lived your life, got a family, you obviously got a job, and then you were like, you know what, I cannot live with regrets, let me try again. So at any point, if somebody at 17, 18 years old cannot get in or don't get in or does get in and it doesn't work out, try again.
Try again.
Yeah, because you never know, 3, 5, 10 years later, you'll have the opportunity and you'll just, like, what's meant to be, it's meant for you, you know? So it'll work out that way.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
It's for me.
Exactly. And you were DSG, which was part-time, in the Guard. What was your civilian job while you were doing that?
I was working for the South Carolina Department of Probation and Parole. So I had to go through 12 weeks of training, law enforcement training.
Wow. Did you get pepper sprayed and tased?
Pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
It was not very fun.
Oh my goodness, it's the worst.
So many stories, law enforcement stories. But
I
did that I worked for that agency for about 8 years.
8 years? Oh, so you have a lot of stories.
Yeah.
What's the craziest one? You had a pepper spray like 10 people?
Craziest one? So you wear a lot of hats when you're a probation and parole agent. So you could be in court. You have to act as their mentor. You have to be a counselor.
Therapist?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You just do so much. You have to go out in the community and meet with them. You have to go to their homes. You have to do inspections. There is a lot, of layers to that job. Another duty of it was making sure they were not doing drugs. So doing drug testing. So you're responsible for a certain amount of people. You have a caseload. They assign you. You see these people. Some of them you see more frequently than others, depending on the offense that they're on probation for. So you say the craziest story. I actually had a guy who came in to do a P test, and so of course a male and a female is pretty much like here in the military when you do drug testing. Like you have females with females, you have males with males. So I would have to he was a male, so I had to get one of my male coworkers to actually go in with him to do his P test. So I'm sitting and waiting, and then all of a sudden my coworker come out. He has this crazy look on his face, and he's like, "It's always your people." Basically, the guy, he tried to cheat the P test, but he had a fake, and it was the opposite sex of him. I mean, not opposite sex. It was the opposite. It wasn't his skin color. So he was,
so he had a different skin color ding-a-ling to pee?
Yeah.
And it was somebody else's pee?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Where does he hold this? I mean,
I guess he tried to be creative. I don't know. I was not in there. I just know I had to explain this to the judge because, obviously it's an offense. So you have to take him back to court depending on, whatever he failed the P test. I had to put that and document that and explain this to the judge. Like, this is how he got caught. I mean, it's so obvious.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, so as a probation officer, you do only females or you do
when you're drug testing?
When you're only drug testing.
You can have, opposite sex on your caseload. So I had plenty of, males, females, on my caseload.
On your caseload.
It's just when you're doing a drug test. Just like here when we do our drug test. Males with the males, females with the females.
Man, that's tough. And you did that for 8 years. Did you like it? I bet it was always like
I did that part, and then I kind of got bored halfway through, and I started working more so with the victims. So I worked with a lot of victims toward the end of that career. But I just wanted to move on and do something different. And then I became a guard bum.
Oh, man. A guard bum, if some of y'all don't know, a guard bum is basically someone who gets on military orders frequently, like every 3, 6, 9 months. You get on military orders. Then when the orders are over, or if they get extended, but if they get over, then you just go back home, go to your civilian job. And then you get another set of orders, and you could do another 3, 6, 9 a year. So I think guard bumming is awesome. I don't like the term, but that's the term that has been placed on it. I feel like it's volunteering. You're going over and beyond because the minimum obligation is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year. So a total of 38 days every year is your minimum obligation for 6 years. But if you want to volunteer more, you could do this guard bumming, right? Or just going and volunteering for more orders. And it could be here in Charlotte. It could be somewhere else in another part of the state or another part of the country. You can apply online and be like, hey, I want to be in Iceland for 3 months if they have the opportunity for you to be there. Or if they want you in Japan, Okinawa.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. I think one of our guys, Sergeant Bush, he's in South Korea right now, or maybe in Japan, which is pretty cool. I think it's awesome.
People in DC.
We got somebody in DC.
Yeah.
Somebody left to go to Texas.
I don't regret it at all because I will say, since I've been doing that, I feel like I've learned my job more. I've learned my job more. Just being around, just being here. I've got to learn my job more.
That's so cool. And so how many years do you have now?
For what?
Military-wise. Military years.
Total 9.
You got 9 military years, so you're going to stay forever? Forever and ever.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's cool. That's cool. So you went NDI, then you went to personnel, and then after personnel, were you in different squadrons? Because in personnel, you could be in the med group, you could be in FSS, you could be in ops group.
Yeah.
Well, which?
So since I've been a personnelist, I've been able to move around. So in South Carolina, I was in FSS, so the Force Support Squadron. Once I came to North Carolina, I was able to move around to different units. So the first unit I was a CSS for maintenance group.
CSS is?
Customer support staff.
I like it.
That's what it is.
Wait, why did you go from South Carolina to North Carolina to us?
Because my leadership was so support, like that transition from South Carolina to North Carolina was a pretty cool experience too, because I originally lived in Rock Hill when I first got married. So when we first started our family, we actually lived here. I never knew of the North Carolina Air National Guard. It actually would have been better for me to come here when I first joined, but I didn't know. I didn't know it existed.
Best kept secret.
Yeah. And so I was driving to South Carolina, and then we eventually moved. I mean, I was living in South Carolina in Rock Hill, but I was driving all the way to Eastover. And it was, a good little drive. And then we ended up moving. We bought a house there. So, I don't know. Once I got down there, I always talked about coming back to the Fort Mill area.
Because there was nothing over there. It was like country.
Yeah, it's very country out there in that specific area. And I guess I talked about it so much, and they knew like eventually she's gonna go back up there. So when I did,
you have family down there too?
My husband, he's from Columbia.
Oh yeah.
And I'm from a little town in South Carolina called Union, South Carolina. I'm in the middle of nowhere. One Walmart, one McDonald's. It's very small.
Oh, man.
So, but yeah, once we made that move, we lived in our house for a couple of years. It's like, yeah, it's time to go. And so I let my leadership know, and they were very supportive of it.
So cool. And you still have your house down there?
Yep.
Trying to sell it?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I know, man. The rental income is pretty good.
It is, but then I don't know. It's kind of a lot when you have problems and people are needy. I guess if you don't have like a needy tenant, then it's cool. But
or just ignore them. No, I'm just playing.
You cannot do that.
Do not ignore your tenants.
The money has been good. Just having that extra stream of income. I'm a big believer of multiple streams of income.
Me too. Me too. Can't do the things you want to do if you don't have those little extra, and preparing yourself for retirement.
Yeah. One thing I learned a few years ago about income
That's
is...
a wrap. Another episode of Sergeant Sue on the Mic, Airman's Journey in the Air National Guard. I'm your host, Sergeant Sue, and I'll see you on the next episode.
It's your moment, time to fly. Come see us.